The Los Angeles Lakers made noise this offseason by bringing in center DeAndre Ayton, and this move could be a game-changer. After losing key pieces and shaking up the roster, the Lakers saw Ayton as the answer to reinforce their frontcourt. He's coming in on a 2-year deal worth $16.6 million, and for Ayton, this is more than just another contract. It's a fresh start, a chance to reset his career and prove he belongs at the top. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. And it didn't take long for the impact to show. After Ayton and superstar Luka Doncic joined the roster, the Lakers' odds of winning the 2025-26 NBA title got a solid bump, moving from 16-1 to 14-1. That puts LA with the 7th best title odds in the league and 4th in the West, just behind OKC, Denver, and Houston. The message is clear. The Lakers are back in the conversation. But they're not the favorites. Not yet. To reach that level, they'll need consistency, better bench depth, and, most importantly, health. Especially after last season's early playoff exit. Ayton's arrival helps stabilize the paint and adds depth up front. It's a sign. The Lakers are all in, and they're building to win now. Ayton entered the league as the #1 overall pick in 2018, and early on, he showed why. He played a key role on the Suns' 2021 Finals team and regularly delivered double-doubles. But behind the scenes, things weren't always smooth. Tensions with coaches and questions about effort eventually led to his departure. In 2023, he was traded to Portland as part of the Damian Lillard deal. There, he put up solid numbers: 14.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, 1.6 assists per game, shooting 56.6% from the field. But despite his stats, Ayton struggled to lead a young, rebuilding team. Off-court issues didn't help either. Reports of being late to practices and missing team activities began to pile up. Eventually, it led to a buyout. Now, at 26, Ayton joins a very different kind of team. The Lakers aren't rebuilding. They're built to compete, and they expect results. With veterans all around and a winning culture in place, this is Ayton's shot at redemption. On paper, Ayton fits perfectly with this roster. LeBron James and Luka Doncic lead the way, and Ayton's game complements both. He's a strong finisher in the pick-and-roll, runs the floor, and can hit from mid-range. Playing alongside elite passers like Luka Doncic and LeBron, Ayton should thrive as a lob threat and secondary scorer. Defensively, he brings size and rebounding, exactly what the Lakers missed after Anthony Davis left the team. No, Ayton isn't the same level of shot blocker or defensive anchor Davis once was, but he's athletic enough to switch, protect the paint, and play smart defense. And with assistant coach Scott Brooks, who worked with Ayton briefly in Portland, now in LA, that familiarity could help him hit the ground running. Ayton wasn't the only addition. The Lakers also brought in forward Jake LaRavia, a young wing with upside, using part of their mid-level exception. Both signings pushed the team close to the $195.9 million hard cap for 2025-26, but they were calculated moves. Ayton's deal gives the team flexibility. Only the first year is guaranteed, and the second year is a player option. That means the Lakers can pivot if needed. As for LaRavia, he averaged 6.9 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.4 assists last season, shooting 47.5%. Not a star, but a valuable depth piece, and that matters when building lineups that can hold leads while the stars rest. With big salaries tied up in Luka Doncic, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, every move matters. GM Rob Pelinka knows, depth wins championships. Best case, Ayton plays with purpose, brings energy, and becomes a key contributor on a contending team. His talent isn't in question. It's always been about consistency, focus, and buy-in. If he embraces this role, he could help push the Lakers deep into the playoffs. But the risks are real. If old habits return, the attitude issues, the lack of urgency, the Lakers could be in trouble. This team doesn't have time for drama. Expectations are sky high. Ayton and new head coach J.J. Redick need results fast, especially with the clock ticking on LeBron's time in L.A. This might be Ayton's last big shot to rewrite his story. And there's no better place to do it than Los Angeles. Bright lights, big pressure, massive expectations, but also the perfect setup for a comeback. LeBron has played with other former #1 picks, Shaq, Dwight, AD. He knows how to bring out the best in players like Ayton. But it's up to Ayton to meet the moment. Will he rise or fade? One more storyline that could change everything. Luka Doncic is now eligible to sign a 4-year, $229 million extension. The Lakers are ready to offer it. But will Luka Doncic commit long-term? That question is making the front office nervous. Meanwhile, rumors about LeBron being traded have been everywhere. But here's the truth. No talks of a trade or buyout have taken place. LeBron picked up his $52.6 million player option, and he's expected to stay in LA through the end of the 2025-26 season. So here we are. New stars. New drama. Big stakes. The Lakers are chasing another title, and DeAndre Ayton could be the wild card that tips the scale. Luka Doncic may be the newest face of the Los Angeles Lakers, but there's already a cloud of uncertainty hanging over his future with the franchise. Just a few weeks before the NBA trade deadline, the Lakers made a seismic move, bringing in Doncic in a blockbuster deal that shocked the basketball world. For LA, it was more than just another trade. It was a bold, calculated pivot. With LeBron James now 40 years old and no longer the core of the team, the Lakers knew it was time to turn the page and build for the next era. And who better to build around than Luka Doncic? At just 26 years old, Doncic has already established himself as one of the most talented offensive forces in the league. His scoring, his court vision, his feel for the game, it's generational. The Lakers didn't just get a star, they got a cornerstone. But here's where things get complicated. While the Lakers have wasted no time making moves and planning around their new superstar, already holding internal meetings with Doncic to discuss roster fits, playing styles, and future acquisitions, there's growing buzz that Luka himself might not be in such a hurry to lock in long-term. According to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, a highly respected NBA insider, Doncic is expected to take his time before putting pen to paper on any contract extension. In fact, Windhorst said fans shouldn't expect any news on that front until late summer. I would not expect it to happen that early, Windhorst said during a recent report. He's playing for the Slovenian national team. Do not freak out if you do not hear from Luka contractually until September. Now let's be clear, Windhorst isn't saying Doncic won't re-sign. He's simply pointing out that the timing might not align with what the Lakers or their fanbase were hoping for. But still, when your entire franchise is banking on a single player, waiting can feel like a lifetime. And it's not just about timelines. It's about commitment. It's about sending a message. And right now, Luka Doncic seems to be playing things cautiously. Of course, there's logic behind it. Luka is competing internationally this summer. His focus is on leading Slovenia. But from the Lakers' perspective, the sooner he signs, the better. A long-term extension would give the franchise peace of mind, and allow them to build aggressively around him without hesitation. The last thing the Lakers want is another superstar with one foot out the door. Especially now, in a post-LeBron James era. LeBron gave the Lakers everything. Championships. Iconic moments. Leadership. But with the Kings chapter in LA nearing its final pages, it's Luka's time now. The Lakers are already preparing to shift their identity, their system, their priorities. Everything is being restructured to fit Doncic's skill set. And let's not forget, Doncic has already made an impact on the court in purple and gold. Since the trade, Luka has averaged an impressive 28.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 7.5 assists per game. He's shooting 43.8% from the field and knocking down 37.9% of his shots from deep. Those are superstar numbers, no question. And it's only the beginning. Offensively, he's a maestro. The way he controls the pace, manipulates defenders, and finds teammates, it's mesmerizing. But the Lakers aren't just stopping there. They're working closely with him on the defensive end, helping him evolve into a more complete player. A true leader on both sides of the floor. Everything the Lakers are doing right now is about Luka. They're tailoring the roster to his strengths. They're strategizing with him. They're investing in his development. And yet, the extension still isn't signed. Around the league, most insiders remain confident that Doncic will ultimately commit to the Lakers long-term. The franchise's reputation for treating its stars with respect and building competitive rosters makes LA an attractive place to stay. And let's be honest, there's no city like Los Angeles. The brand, the market, the spotlight. It's tailor-made for a player of Luka's caliber. But in today's NBA, nothing is guaranteed. Fans have seen it all before: stars traded, stars walking away in free agency, sudden turns no one saw coming. The league moves fast, and loyalty is never automatic. So while everything appears to be moving in the right direction, the silence is starting to get loud. What if Luka's hesitance isn't just about the Slovenian national team? What if he's watching to see how serious the Lakers really are about building a title contender? What if he's waiting to see whether they can surround him with the right pieces, not just in name, but in chemistry, defense, toughness? Because Luka Doncic isn't just looking for highlights, he's looking for banners. Until he signs that dotted line, uncertainty will linger. For now, all eyes are on September. That's when we'll know if the Lakers truly have their next great superstar locked in, or if the story is just getting started. Stay tuned. When DeAndre Ayton signed with the Los Angeles Lakers in free agency, many thought the team had finally addressed one of its most glaring weaknesses: the center position. After struggling in the paint during last season's playoffs, Ayton's arrival was seen as a much-needed upgrade. A skilled scorer, a strong rebounder, and someone with playoff experience. On paper, it looked like a great fit. But as the dust settles, deeper questions are starting to emerge. Because while Ayton brings clear offensive upside, his presence alone might not be enough to shore up the Lakers' frontcourt. Behind the scenes, the Lakers' front office is still on the hunt, searching for one more big man. Not just a backup, but possibly someone who could share or even take on starting duties depending on how things unfold. One name that keeps popping up in the rumors? Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz. At just 23 years old, Kessler has already gained league-wide attention for his rim protection and rebounding instincts. He's not flashy, but his fundamentals are rock solid. And on a team like the Lakers, loaded with offensive firepower, having a defensive anchor like Kessler could be the perfect complement. What makes Kessler even more appealing is his contract situation. Still playing on his rookie deal, he's both affordable and under team control for several seasons. That's crucial for a franchise like the Lakers, who are trying to open up cap space for 2026, when new stars may become available in free agency. Adding Kessler now wouldn't mess with those future plans, and he could easily remain on the roster even after big changes down the line. In theory, a pairing of Ayton and Kessler could give the Lakers one of the most balanced center duos in the NBA. Ayton, with his mid-range touch and offensive versatility. Kessler, with his timing, shot blocking, and physicality around the rim. Between the two, the Lakers could cover 48 minutes at the 5 spot without a major drop-off in production. Sounds great, right? Well, not so fast. The Jazz reportedly have a steep asking price for Kessler. According to Jovan Buha from The Athletic, Utah wants 2 first-round picks and a young prospect in return. For the Lakers, that's a massive price to pay, especially considering their limited draft capital. Right now, LA doesn't even have 2 first-round picks available for trade due to prior deals. And their most enticing young piece, rookie Dalton Knecht, has already drawn interest around the league. He was nearly sent to the Charlotte Hornets in a potential trade involving Mark Williams earlier this offseason. Giving him up now, along with picks they barely have, could compromise their ability to make bigger moves later. So the Lakers are stuck in a tough position: gamble now and give up the little flexibility they have, or hold firm and try to make it work with what's already on the roster. The safer path. Stick with Ayton and Jackson Hayes. Yes, Hayes struggled at times last season, especially when filling in as a starter. But in a bench role, his athleticism and energy off the bench can still be valuable. He doesn't need to do too much, just protect the rim, run the floor, and crash the boards. With a more defined role and reduced pressure, Hayes could thrive as a second-unit big man. That said, there's still one major question hovering over all of this. Can DeAndre Ayton really be trusted as the team's primary center? On paper, Ayton's numbers last season were solid: 14 points and 10 rebounds per game. But anyone who watched him closely knows the concerns go beyond the box score. Too often, his energy seems inconsistent. His effort on defense can fluctuate. And in big moments, he sometimes fades into the background. In Phoenix, those concerns were part of what led to his eventual departure. And while a fresh start in Los Angeles could reignite his competitive fire, there's no guarantee. That's what makes the Lakers' current strategy feel like a calculated risk. They're putting a lot of trust in Ayton's ability to step up, not just statistically, but emotionally and mentally. Because if Ayton falters, and Hayes can't hold down the backup spot, the Lakers will once again find themselves thin in the most important area of their defense. That's why the idea of adding someone like Walker Kessler is so tempting. But again, it all comes back to cost. Giving up high-value picks and a top young talent for Kessler would seriously limit the Lakers' ability to make other moves. And with the Western Conference only getting stronger, the front office needs to be smart, not desperate. So for now, the best move might be no move at all. Stick with Ayton. See how he responds to a new environment and a bigger role. Use Hayes as a support piece. And wait for the right opportunity, whether it's Kessler down the line, or another center who becomes available at a more reasonable price. Because sometimes in the NBA, patience is more powerful than panic. And for the Lakers, that patience might just pay off.